Hi, good morning, and welcome to Sunday School today. I'm glad that you have joined us for another story, another challenge for your week. We are in the season of Lent right now, and so we are preparing for Easter. We have been studying a book called Everybody Always. It's a great book with lots of incredible stories about love, and we have another great one today. Just as a reminder, Bob Goff is who has written this book, and he has written it to help us to find new ways to show love to other people and ways to remember the love that God has for us. Now, I want to start today with my own story, and then I'll read about Bob's story. During Christmas, we have a lot of Christmas traditions that we like to do, but one of our favorites is called the Secret Santa. In our family, we each draw a name of someone else in the family, and then we go to Target and we pick out a silly gift for that person. We come home, we wrap it in whatever we can find just laying around, and then we write that person a letter. And when I say letter, remember, we have small children in our house, and so over the years, it's been just a couple of quick sentences. Ben, you're my brother, you're great, I love you. Or, Dad, you are such a great dad. Thank you for always being there for me. Usually they're very short letters, but they're very sweet. And then we give the letter, we give the gift to our secret person, and it's just kind of a fun thing that we do. But my favorite part of this tradition is that we take the letters, we fold them up, and we put them each inside our stocking. And so when I get my stocking out each year, I can pull out different letters that over the years the boys or Mr. Bryant have written to me to tell me how much they love me. And it is a really, really neat thing to have. This story today is about writing letters to people. It's about a time capsule. And so I bet you'll be able to guess what our challenge is going to be. Let's read our story. Have you ever made a time capsule? A time capsule is a jar, box, or bottle that you fill with special items and bury. The goal isn't for the time capsule to stay hidden forever. And when you bury it, you plan for someone, you or someone else, to discover and open the capsule years later. When my kids were little, they decided to make a time capsule. They gathered photos of people they loved, CDs they liked, toys from kids' meals at their favorite restaurants, and a few other special items. Together, the items showed what life was like for my kids at that time. We need to bury this one. No one will find it for years and years, Lindsay said in her most serious voice. I'll get the shovel, Richard yelled. I'll help too, Adam called, scampering after him. The kids chose a spot in the yard to bury their time capsule and they started digging. Their plan was to dig a hole big enough and deep enough that they could fit inside of it. But after a few minutes, they got tired of digging. They plopped down their metal box in the hole, covered it with a few inches of dirt, and here's the funny part. They actually forgot all about it. 15 years later, I was digging a hole to plant a bush for Sweet Maria when my shovel hit something hard. Clink! What in the world was that? I muttered. I peeked into the hole and spied a shiny metal lid. When I pulled the box out of the ground and opened the lid, I was surprised and delighted by what I saw. The time capsule. All about this. The kids, who were adults by that time, were delighted too. They laughed about their silly messages, trinkets, and photos. There were yo-yos, bubblegum wrappers, old CDs, drawings, and notes to their future selves. We loved discovering that time capsule so much, we decided to make a new tradition in our family. Instead of burying trinkets and gum wrappers, though, now we bury letters. Letters to our future selves and letters to other people telling them something important about who they are and why they are loved. We don't keep that tradition to ourselves either. We invite our friends over to write letters with us. Here's something special about hiding a surprise gift for people to show them how much you love them. You might write a note to your brother telling him what makes him a great brother. Or you might write a note to your friend to share what you love most about her. Then someday, when they need it the most, you can surprise them with a map to your home. They'll be amazed to learn that you were thinking of them so long ago and that you waited to tell them until the moment when they needed your words the most. Sometimes I wonder if God does the same thing for us. Often I'll read a story about Jesus, and it will seem like the words he spoke to his friends were also words spoken to me, even though I'm reading them so many years later. Has this ever happened to you? What are some words that you can hide away today and surprise someone on a day when they need it the most? That's kind of a fun story. I think it would be so fun to find a time capsule in my backyard. I also think it'd be pretty fun to make a time capsule. I was thinking about Bob's words, and he talks about how sometimes the things that Jesus is saying in the Bible, he feels like it's a message that was written just for him. I wonder if that's ever happened. If you've ever read a story and you've thought, that is exactly what I'm thinking about right now. That's really cool. There's a lot of very special messages in this Bible. We've learned about the Old Testament. That's the whole beginning part before Jesus comes. We've learned about the New Testament after Jesus is here. And what is always really interesting to me is to see the different things that are similar. There's a lot of the same messages. There's a lot of messages around love and around taking care of each other and taking care of others. I encourage you to find a story that fits something that you might be thinking about or something you might be experiencing. Sometimes it will take reading several stories before you find that one, but it's always a great idea to just pick up the Bible and read because you don't know what kind of special message you're going to get. Now, I said that you probably would be able to guess what our challenge is today. So, what do you think? That's right. We are going to make a time capsule message, and we're going to do it with a little bit of a twist. This is something kind of fun. I was looking back through some old Easter pictures, and I found this really cool craft that we did a long time ago. We did it with Miss Chris and Miss Ronnie and Miss Hannah. And so all of the kids that are a little bit older, maybe in older elementary school or in younger middle school, they all made this craft. And so I think it's kind of neat that now we get to make it again. So you'll need a piece of paper. You will need masking tape, and you'll need some paints. We have these watercolor paints, and so this I think will be perfect. Now, on one side, you're going to write your letter. I didn't write this letter, but I let Cooper write it instead, and so he wrote something very special for us. But write a letter maybe to your family and tell them right now in this time leading up to Easter, what's going on? What are you thinking about? What do you love about them? What do you appreciate about them? Write a nice little letter on the back, and then on the front, we're going to take our tape and tear off pieces, and we're going to put them like a cross. So what I do is I just lay the two pieces down and then fold it back behind, and then I have a cross. Now, this is the fun part. This is when we get to make a really cool design. So I have these watercolors, like I said, and so I'm just going to color and do a really, kind of comes to you, kind of a neat design. I've started coloring blue up in the corner here. Now the key is you want to color and you want to touch the lines. You want to make sure that your paint goes over the tape. A lot of times we say stay in the lines, but for this, you don't want to stay in the lines. So you can see I've painted on the tape right here. There's a reason, because once we have enough painted on here, I'll be able to show you what's going to happen. It's going to make something kind of cool. Let's see, I'll just do a little bit more paint on this side, and then we'll be able to peel back the tape, and you can see what will happen. Hopefully you'll be able to take a little more time and make your designs kind of cool. All right, so I've painted all around the tape, and now when we take the tape off, got to untape it on all the sides here. Masking tape is what works easiest because that is, you can peel it off of paper pretty easy without messing up the paper. Mine's really old masking tape, so it doesn't stick at all. Okay, now peel it down and look, you have a cross. Now I cut this out in the shape of an Easter egg. You could do this just on a square. You don't have to cut it. You can do any kind of design that you want. But this would be a great decoration during Easter to put up on your wall. Now, what I think is cool about this is if you've got your special message on the back and then you have this pretty decoration on the front, this is something that your family can hang up every year. And 10 years from now, when you read this letter, it'll mean something even more than it means today, I'm sure. So this is a fun craft. This is our challenge for this week. Maybe you want to make several of these and you can send them in the mail to a relative or give them to a grandparent. I hope that you have a good time with this craft. I hope that you remember it's always important for us to give special messages to other people, messages of love, and most important, remember that this is a great thing to read when you need a special message from God. If you need to be reminded how loved you are, you'll find that in here. Let's end with a prayer. Loving God, we are so thankful for the many messages that you give to us. We're grateful for the stories that we can read in the Bible. We're grateful for the ways that we are reminded of how much you love us. Continue to put on our hearts different ways that we can show love to other people. We are grateful for this time leading up to Easter, and we give thanks for your Son, Jesus. In your name we pray, amen. Have a great week, everyone.